All right. Hey, Jess, how are you?
Good, good. And you?
I'm really good, thank you. It's so good to see you, even though it's not in the flesh, it's through the wonderful world of Zoom. I appreciate it.
No worries. And likewise.
And hey, what's going on? You're in Sydney. How's things been going over this crazy time?
I mean, for us, for the agency personally, I think that we're doing fine. We're remote, so it's,
Yeah.
I guess, relatively easy for us.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to a lot of our clients, we can definitely see the impact that it's
Yeah.
had, good and bad. Pretty much majority of our e-com clients are, some are having the biggest sale days they've ever experienced, which is great. Um,
Amazing.
And on the other side of it, there are certainly a few of the brands that we work with who are just not really doing as well. And I think so much of that really just comes down to wanting to pivot
Yeah.
and looking for opportunity where it exists. And I just think that there's so much opportunity right now, given
Mm.
that the situation that we're all in. We're not sort of, it's not unique to anyone. I think we're all in that same position. And even the way that we used to do things as an agency, we've changed the way that we do things, even though we're digital. And so I think there's so much opportunity for brands like those that aren't really seeing the same in terms of sales coming through and new clients or whatever that looks like. I just think that it's really a matter of being able to pivot,
Mm.
look at where that opportunity exists. And that opportunity really is online. And so that's sort of what we've been helping our clients do, is just to really understand that opportunity does exist. And
Yeah.
you want to be where your customers are. I mean, I think last time I was looking at the stats, I think it was like, I think Facebook viewing time on video went up by 32%. Like,
That doesn't surprise me at all.
you
Um,
know,
yeah, it's it. And I was when I was talking to you the other day, I was just kind of saying it's nice that we're in a time now where people who potentially were in the older part of the population now realizing the beauties of digital and social and technology and how it can work, and I think there's going to be a big shift in the way that people start to buy and consume media completely in the near future if it hasn't happened already. um,
yeah.
Jess, I'd love to just kind of ask you a bit about, firstly, your background and what you've been doing, and how you've kind of got to where you are, because you've got one of the, in my opinion, one of the best agencies in Australia. So it'd be great to get a bit of your
Wow.
background and to, get to understand what you guys have been doing and who you are and why you're here today.
Thank you. So that's a very big compliment.
I I don't say that lightly.
But thank you. No, I really appreciate that. So we've been around, Evocative Media has been around for 6 years. In the beginning, when I started the agency, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to get clients. I kind of did it because I sort of felt so limited within the corporate space. I
Yeah.
didn't want to have to climb that corporate ladder. I didn't want to take that route. And I really wanted to be heard, and I never really could find a role that I felt that I could be creatively free.
Mm.
Um, and it was really quite hard to find a role that I loved. Every time I found something sort of close, it was missing something really important to me. And so I just decided to create it myself. And doing that, I had no idea what I was in for. Agency life. Crazy.
Whoa, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I started, and it was predominantly PR,
Mhm.
and that's sort of where I feel comfortable, and something that I've got experience in. And yeah, really quickly, I just made a quick pivot over to social. I saw that that's where the attention was, and I really struggled to communicate with my clients the return. Not because I
Mm.
didn't have the experience to communicate the return from PR, but I just saw better results with social. And in those days, it was, I mean, 6 years ago, Facebook ads was a little different. Um, but I mean, now it's a completely different story. Lots of steep learning curves, and when you sort of don't really know the direction you're going, you kind of say yes to a lot of things. And once we sort of niched down, sort of started to specialize more so within e-commerce, that's really when we started to get some traction and keep building out the agency. And I think for me, really, it's being able to come from a place of service and being able to help brands highlight the incredible things that they're doing, and why they love what they do and why they've created what they've created, and then pretty much just putting gasoline to that fire, and giving it the awareness and exposure that it needs and it deserves, and on the other side of that, generating sales. So really we do focus specifically within the e-commerce space, and predominantly with Facebook ads. We also do a fair bit of content creation as well. We're seeing a massive need for that now more than ever. And so we've got the internal team and the capacity to do it. So we do Facebook ads and content creation. And really for us, like, you know, I think a lot of people tend to look at gurus and things like that in the industry and see that, you know, you can spend 1,000 and generate 1 million. And for us, it's really about being super transparent with every brand about what's achievable and what's not achievable. And I just don't think that there's a lot of that. And so I think when I really break it down, I do want to create change within the digital space. I do want brands to look at agencies and change their perception that there are agencies out there, consultants, freelancers, whatever it looks like, that do really good work. And it's not just about churn and burn. And so that's something I'm really passionate about, is helping brands to realize that there are really great agencies and consultants that can help deliver really great results. But they can also tell you when things aren't, you know, going to work out, or you need to pivot. And I think that's really what makes, you know, a great agency or a great consultant, is that you're able to have those tough conversations. And it's something that I really pride myself on, and really the foundation of who we are.
I love that. And I guess it's something why I respect you guys so much and what you do, because I've seen that kind of activity come out of your work. And I think it's really important for people to know that there are a lot of cowboys out there. So just be really careful. Like, there are, as you said, people who say you can spend 1,000 and make 1 million. And hey, look, there's some that do. And it's very, 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 very rare. So, you know, I think that's really important to, if people are looking for help within any of their business, to, you know, just validate who's in the business and really see what their integrity is like, and look at their work and their client base, and it'll be pretty evident. Just don't jump into something.
100%.
Yeah, because anyway, not at this day and age. And I think, yes, I'd love to, because obviously today we're going to be talking a bit about strategic partnerships, and that's something that's been popping up quite a bit in just different conversations I've had over the past couple of weeks, in everything from dentists to hospitality businesses, right through to musicians, on how they can start to leverage strategic partnership. So I guess I might just get by starting you to kind of give an overview of what is a strategic partnership, because I think a lot of people are probably going, this is some kind of marketing term jargon. What even is this? So it'd be good to get your point of view on that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked. So I think it's really important to first start by, I think, explaining that this is a strategy that will far exceed any digital strategy. Any strategy that works today, this will outlast that strategy year on year. And the reason why is because a strategic partnership is the basis of that is a relationship, and building a strong relationship. And that really just comes down to being able to leverage that relationship in a way that serves your brand or business. And so really the foundation of that is creating relationships that you can go on to leverage to deliver whatever it is that you're wanting access to. And so typically how a strategic partnership would work is you would have an alliance with another brand or consultant or company, whatever that looks like, and they would have access to what you need more of in your business. And so that might be leads, it might be maybe you want to land someone to be on your podcast, or whatever it looks like that you need more of. There's someone out there that has access to that. And so by leveraging a strategic partnership and having an alliance with that person, you then get access to the things that they have that you don't already have. And so that's pretty much the foundation of what it looks like. Being able to leverage it truly is a skill, and it's really founded on understanding how to build and nurture relationships, and looking at strategic partnerships not just as a source of take, but being able to give. This is what I've learned in all the years that I've had my agency, is that the way that you show up for other people can have the most profound impact on your overall success. And if you're willing to do the things that others won't, you're going to get so much further. You're going to get so much more out of, a relationship, because you've nurtured it, you've invested in it. And when I talk about showing up, I think a lot of people think that showing up for a relationship or a partnership or whatever that looks like is by giving something that's really, really valuable to you and to your clients and giving it away for free. That's not going to help you. And that's a part of a strategy that you can leverage, but it's just so much more simple than that. And being able to understand and identify the importance of a strong relationship, and being able to say, hey, I just wanted to pick your brain for a bit of advice, or I've got something that could be really valuable to you and your clients. And being able to have that mutually beneficial relationship, because if you do build it and it is mutually beneficial, then it'll get to the point where you can start to profit from it. And that probably sounds like a dirty word, profit and relationship. It's kind of a weird mix.
I think you need to know, though, because I think if you're like, how I look at it is that if you have got a really good relationship with someone and you're actually providing a lot of value, then, it's just a natural thing. They're going to want to give you money or give you whatever it is to be able to facilitate that. And I'd rather work with people I like than work with people that I don't have a relationship with. So, I think it's all about perception, but I get it. And I guess, Jess, what are some tips about how to build these relationships? Because I'm assuming they don't just happen overnight, right?
No, they don't. But I think it's first important, there's 3 key elements to having a successful strategic partnership. So first, you have to identify what it is that you need more of and you don't currently have enough of, you don't have access to. So that might be leads. You might be wanting to enter a new market with a product. You might want access to something that you might sort of feel is unobtainable, but knowing that you don't have direct access to it and someone else does, that's how you're identifying the what. Yeah. The other part of that is the who. So the second step is working out who it is that already has what you want access to. So a really great example of this is, say if you're wanting to generate high quality leads, right? And you know that there is a business out there already working with the brands that you want to work with. So that might be, say, for example, for a Facebook ads agency, for us, if you specialize within the e-commerce space, then you might want to partner with a leading Shopify developer. They're already working with your ideal clients. I know this because that's how we've gone about setting up our strategic partnerships. And that's why they call them strategic, because you really have to be strategic about who you go after and how you go after them. But identifying the who is the second one is really, really important. You do have to do the work. You have to do your due diligence. A really great way to do it is go to their website, have a look at their case studies, testimonials, and see who they've worked with. And you have to look at it in a way of, who is working with my ideal clients, and they might not be ready yet for what I have to offer, but it might be that step before. We call them upstream partners, right? So that brand will go to them first. And so, for example, an accountant is a really great upstream partner. Yeah. Everyone has an accountant, right? Partnering with the right accountant can be really lucrative. It can work really well. We do it. With web developers, it works really, really well. Honestly, it really just comes down to doing the work, putting in the effort to understand who has what you want, This is not sort of simple in the same way. I don't want to say simple, but because funnels aren't simple, but it's not the same as turning on a funnel and generating leads. It's different. You're going after premium quality. You already know that they have what you need.
Yeah.
And so that's really important to identify. And the third step is to make sure that you have something that they need or they want. And that's really, really important. It's a step that I think confuses people. I think it's a step that a lot of people overcomplicate in their delivery. They might over-deliver, over-give, over-incentivize. And it's really important to understand the value of what you're going to get from them, the value of what that means to that partner. So if it's already a client of theirs, you have to understand that, that client is paying them probably a retainer fee or whatever that looks like month on month. And it's incredibly valuable to them. They're not going to want to willingly just give you access to this incredible list that they've got.
Why not? Is there a thing called trust that needs to be built or something like that? Yeah.
And really that's I guess the next step is, once you've identified the what it is that you need, the who has what you need, and then 3, making sure you have something that they actually want, or how that can be mutually beneficial. Then you work out how to approach a strategic partner. And there's so many ways to do it, but the most important step that I can't even stress enough is being able to personalize your approach. It is everything. So,
well,
I mean, I can't.
Have you seen horror stories and people have reached out to you or anything like that and just kind of gone?
Yeah. I've also been a part of those horror stories. So in the beginning, I was testing pretty much every strategy because, I mean, what's a good strategy without a failed test?
This is true. Postcard, it's okay.
So I mean, we said in the early days, a lot of it is trial and error. What's going to work for me? And I think where so many people get caught up is they're looking at, okay, how can I do what they're doing and just make it my own and copy that messaging and go after that brand? And it doesn't make you different. In fact, I think it just really highlights your inability to be creative and to want to show up and come from a place of authenticity. And I think that's so important, because the way we build great relationships is by being authentic and showing up as who we are. And what people have to realize is that in order to sustain a long-term relationship, you kind of got to like the other person. You kind of got to have some chemistry going on. This is true.
So I might write that one down.
So it's really important, that the very foundation of that relationship, it comes from a very authentic place. Trying to push something that's never going to work or never going to fit, it's probably going to do more damage than good. And you're not always going to hit it out the park, every single time you try to approach a strategic partner. And there's a lot of different strategies that people can leverage to approach strategic partners. And now, I think maybe a year and a half ago, when I was talking about strategic partnerships, it was really easy to cut through on LinkedIn with just the perfect messaging. But now
no. I just see them and go, oh my God, I don't even look at things now. That's just me. But I think it might have to be some other, I don't know if LinkedIn is necessarily going to be the number one entry point to meeting someone at a senior level, right? And I'm sure there's other ways that you could probably get in front of them through other creative means. And I know you've done a few. It'd be awesome if you could share some.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's just really important to know who you're going after, and really to do your research. So check out their social channels, check to see if there's articles that they've written, things that they're passionate about, and really try and find that common ground. That's a really great entry point. it allows you to start a conversation based on something they're interested in, rather than starting a conversation and saying, hey, this is the service that I have to offer, buy it. No one, I mean, you don't go to a bar and start, a conversation with someone that you've never ever met before, just saying, hey, these are my really awesome traits, be my friend.
Oh, okay. No, maybe I've done it once or twice now. No, that's so cool though, like you gotta make an impression. And if you're watching someone at the bar, you're noticing that they're drinking, I don't know, a Manhattan cocktail, you might go up and go, hey, oh my God, I love Manhattans, blah, blah, blah. I always have mine neat with whatever whiskey, and that kind of is an entry point based off what are their interests rather than just going, me. I love that. And so what do you do with it then once you've got some kind of intel on them and, and you're stalking? So how do you activate that?
So you have to look at your entry points. And so there's this really great book called The Third Door. And I love the idea behind it, the concept behind the third door. So basically, and this is similar to the strategic partnership approach. Yeah. So basically, it's kind of prefaced around if you want to get inside a club, there is 3 different ways in, right? There's the front door, and everyone is taking the front door, right? Yeah. And then there's those VIPs, and they've got their own access level, right? And then there's this other little opportunity to get in, and it's not always the most obvious. And it might be this tiny little crack in the window that you can climb up in, but it's work. It takes effort to get through. And you find this little access point that there's not this massive, easy line and approach that everyone else is taking. It's something that you have to put the effort in. Actually, I think I've got the book here.
Yes.
It's really, really good.
Okay. What's it? Alex Banayan. All right. Yeah. There we go. There you go, people.
It's a good book to read. And it's basically about doing the things that other people won't to get what you want. And you have to understand you're going to get no's. No matter what strategy you use to get through that door or to get access, it doesn't mean it's always going to work. It's about trying things enough to understand if there's a possible opportunity for it to work. This is something that I've done over and over and over and over again, testing the entry points. And so really great strategies of testing entry points. So obviously the really basic routes that pretty much, this is your front door line, is your emails, your LinkedIn's. That may be sliding into the DMs or something like that on Insta.
Oh, scary.
So you want to test those methods, because you also have to understand that the people that you're trying to reach out to, no matter how esoteric it might seem to have a relationship with that person, that they're human just like us. Yeah, exactly. And never forget that they were all at a spot that you were at, wanting something that someone else had. And so going down those pretty standard routes, email, LinkedIn, do try them. Handwritten notes, incredibly powerful. And the reason why I say this, and especially now more than ever, is that when was the last time you went to the mailbox and pulled something out that was worth even opening the mailbox for? And I think that's a lot of people are going to the mailbox and getting a bill and something that they don't want. So there is this element of surprise, and surprise is impact, and impact is being memorable. And so looking at ways that you can be different, you can really show that you have put in the effort to take that next step or to get into that tiny little window space. And so handwritten notes can work incredibly well. You do have to do your due diligence. You have to know who it is in that company or in that business that you're going after. And so definitely try handwritten notes. One thing that we do really well is we send out media kits. And awesome. So we'll always do branding on media kits. So we'll always go with our company colors, which is gold, black, and gray. And we'll always customize a box. So the way I think about sending media kits out is I'll look at the cost to create something tangible that I can send out, I'll look at how much I'm willing to actually pay for a lead. This is not just to generate leads for an agency. This is if you're wanting pretty much anything, right? So say, for example, you want to land someone to join your podcast. Press kit, media kit can work incredibly well. Handwritten notes can work incredibly well. Doing the same thing over and over and over and not really getting a result or a response, you're kind of in the same basket as everyone else. So why wouldn't you try something that has more impact and that you typically get a response? So we send out media kits. These change all the time depending on the ideas that we have for different approaches, what we're sending. Food works really, really well. And so a great example of this, cupcakes, personalized custom cupcakes. So whether that's got a printout or a logo, or they're like a special design or special colors, whatever it is, you can be quite creative with it. For us, we've kind of got a bit of a method. So I've got tissue paper that's got our branding on it.
Beautiful.
We send out all of our details, but we never ever go straight in for the sale. And so I'll put inside, I've got some here. So we've made everything customized over time. We've tested what works. So I'll send out something that's like this. It's got my face on it, and then I'll do a handwritten note.
Oh, beautiful!
And on the inside, we'll send out. So for these, we sent out cookies. And so what we did was we found we're going after fast fashion apparel. And so what we did was we picked a few brands, big brands that we wanted to go after, picked, say, a bestseller item, and then replicated that in cookie form.
Ah, that's awesome. I love that.
And they're incredibly powerful. I have emails from the biggest brands in Australia just from using this approach. I actually had one of the brands that we approached with this same strategy come back and said, hey, look, we actually do this internally, but I have to tell you, I get hit up every single day from different agencies wanting to work with us. This is the right approach. Yours is the only one that stood out. And we showed up. And the power of that is we're making that connection. They're emailing us. They're coming to us for meetings. And we've spoken to, so I've pitched to big brands like Coca-Cola, Woolworths, Coles, Bondi Sands, Lululemon, all through generating the right amount of attention by going after who I actually want to work with and finding a way.
Love that. And look, this could be transferable to any service industry, really, couldn't it? So it's not obviously just, I don't want people to think this is just agencies. Like, you could 100%. Be giving any kind of service, and it's incredible. But then also it could be applied if you do have some kind of e-com business and you're trying to get a certain brand on your platform. Like there's so many different ways that you can apply this to get the right person into your fold. And it's 100%. Such a great concept. And it just takes that little bit of time and a little bit of research and, I guess, really identifying who the right person is, as you said, in order to get it out there. I love that. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, if anyone's sort of watching this from an e-commerce standpoint, say you wanted to enter a new market, say you're an Aussie brand and you're wanting to enter the US market, there's going to be people over in the US that have access to the people or the resources that you need to make that jump. They're gonna know how to enter the market. They're gonna be able to give you insights into what's happening within that market that you're not going to know all the way from Australia or wherever you're based. And so being able to identify not just who's going to be the perfect client for me, but who's going to be that entry point into getting access to these other resources. And so it's pretty much transferable for every industry. If you want to get somewhere, a lot of it comes down to knowing the right people. But how do you get in touch with the right people if you're not already connected with someone who can connect you with the right person? Create the opportunity and be brave enough to do it. I can't tell you how many times I give away all these strategies of what we do and how we do it. So I checked this morning knowing that we were jumping on to talk about this. So just this year alone, we're in April, we have generated from strategic partnerships alone, we have 5 lead gen sources. Strategic partnerships, we have generated 252,000
that's amazing
revenue just for the agency. And the thing is this is something that we're constantly nurturing. It's not because we started in January with a new strategy. It's because this is something that I started 2 years ago, building relationships. If you're looking at strategies like this and hoping it's a quick win, this is not the right strategy. A funnel might be the right strategy for you, something else.
Yeah.
This is really a long game. This is about wanting to be in business, not just in 2 years, but 5, 10, 20, 30, whatever it looks like. Because those relationships that might not feel like anything now, you don't know where that's going to take you long term. And so being able to create a window of opportunity for yourself, for your company, for your brand, that opportunity is available to all of us. And the difference between me and anyone else trying to do this is that I will keep going and go. We have 12 touch points before I even say, okay, hey, let's back off and reevaluate. Being consistent and not every no that you get is an opportunity for a yes, because you're just going to find out, okay, well, that didn't work. What else can work? So in the same way that you would for digital and for your paid campaigns, you're optimizing for the sale. This is the same. You're optimizing for a conversion. You're optimizing for that relationship that's going to give you the things that you need and want more of in your own business. And you know, the thing is, that's why we call them strategic partnerships, because you have to be strategic in your approach, not just when you're finding who the right person is or what it is that you need, but your approach to actually get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And that's what's really important.
Jess, and something you said then, and you've said it before in this interview as well, is around you are going to hear no. And I think a lot of people really struggle with that and take it personally when someone says no to them. So yes, my question to you is what are some tactics to kind of really overcome that, or how did you overcome that if you ever felt like that previously? Because I've seen that come up with a few people I've spoken to recently, and it's I just love how you've got such a go-get attitude. But how did you be able to get from that part to that part, if you ever have?
Look, in terms of like reaching out to people and getting those no's, you're going to get them. I've had so many no's, but I know that every no is for a reason. It was never meant to work out. They weren't for some reason a right fit.
Totally.
Or maybe it just wasn't for right now. For me, a no, getting to the no and getting there really quick, that's what I want to get to. I want to get that no because I want to work out, okay, that didn't work. What's my next step? And just because you get a no, I can't tell you how many brands have said no, like we're already working with another agency. I get that all the time, more than any other feedback is, we're already working with another agency. So you're looking for that window, right?
Yeah, the crack.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, totally.
Or the back door. I went there.
I was waiting for it. I was like, I'm not going to be the only, Anyway, no. So once you've found the back door and got on in, no, but you're right though. You're right. It's definitely about finding. And I've had, like, honestly, with us, there's been times where I've reached out to potential clients 2.5 years ago. But what they've done is we've maintained contact with them with some capacity, as you said, like earlier. Hey, notice this. Maybe you should try this. This might interest you. Kind of just dipping in and out, and then 2 years later, they're like, hey, we've been watching what you're doing, and we want to engage. So
yeah, so I've got a strategy. So I've actually got a little strategy
awesome.
for that. So if we do outreach, say we'll send our media kits, I'll send handwritten notes, whatever I'll try. If it's not working, I'm always going to look at how I can take it to that next level.
Yeah.
What's going to make me different, and what's going to make it all about them, less about me, all about them.
That's it.
And so, and that's really what it's all about. And
totally.
So I actually came up with an idea. This is just one of our strategies. I'll show you what it is. So because I'm big on personalizing everything, instead of doing New Year's gifts, we send out a gift at the beginning of Jan. And it basically says that this is your year. And it's a handwritten note from me, and I send it direct to, maybe it's a marketing manager or normally the CEO gets us a meeting. We've tried that, tested it, and it works quite well. Honestly, it just comes down to testing, and it's different for every company and brand. So what I did, so along with that handwritten note, I started to send out, this is a brand that we've been working with,
Awesome.
the Daily Edited. They got really, really great stuff. And so the box is like custom. So it says enjoy. But what's on the inside is what counts, as always. So this is mine. It's a customized notebook. And so it's got my initials there. And so I started to send these out. Literally every time I send these out, our strategic partners it puts you top of mind. So
completely.
They'll be like, oh my God, I need to email this person because this is a thoughtful gift. And so I'll always get an influx of high quality leads because I have this relationship. I've showed up in a way that probably a lot of people aren't. After the first and second no, majority of people give up, not me. I'll keep going. You look at different ways, different entry points, and that's what makes you different. You're going to get no's. And yeah, you're probably going to feel pretty shitty about it. But you do build up this guard where you're like, okay, well, that didn't work. Something else will work. And you just have to be willing to put in the time and the effort, and just be really consistent with doing it, and leverage your CRM. So every time you reach out to someone, make sure you've got all of their information in your database, in your CRM system, and have it notify you, okay, well, on the 1st of January, I'm going to reach out to this person. I'm going to make a note that if I haven't heard back in 2 or 3 weeks, whatever the timeline is, I'm going to touch base. And one of the things I know that people aren't doing, people aren't calling anyone anymore. They're so afraid to do it.
I don't get this. I'm a talker. So it's, for me, it's absolutely pivotal. And I hate emails and texts. So you can ask my team. They're just like, no, if you need to get hold of me, call me. But it's so right. And the art of having a conversation and just going, hey, how are you? How's things going? Can I help you with anything? Those kind of basic fundamental things. Because I was just about to ask you too, obviously the things that you do are beautiful and custom. And, I was just about to ask you, what's something you could do that's low barrier from a cost perspective and things? And here we are. So I knew you should have something, but I think calling is a good start.
This is something that I've been doing for a while, and it's working actually quite well now because we're in isolation. These literally, I bought these from like Kmart or Target. Yeah. These are cups. So it says Jess and Allison. Okay, so what I'll do is I will literally take a photo of myself holding these cups, and I will send that picture of myself to the person that I want to have a chat to and say, hey, let's tee up a virtual meeting. And I'll literally, it's that personalization, it's that customization. And so these literally cost me like for 100, I think it was like, I don't know, $20 or something crazy. And then it's just about customizing it and looking at how you can be different. And the sky really is the limit. You can be as creative as you want, but think about your costs. And so you don't want to be going all in. The reason why we're at this point is because we've tested it and it works. We've found an approach that works really well. You don't have to have all the bells and whistles to be able to do something like this. Sometimes it's really just finding that entry point and doing something like this. That's low cost. We each have this powerful tool, this phone. There are so many ways you can look at getting access to the people who can get you in touch with, the right client or the right manufacturer or whatever it is. The sky really is the limit. And so I guess you just have to ask yourself, what is it that I need and I don't have? Who already has those things? And what can I give them in return? One of the things I haven't mentioned is we do incentivize our with our strategic partners. And so, for example, we partner with a leading dev company. They're with Shopify, and we literally have like $1,000 referral fee. they've delivered hundreds of thousands in leads to us. And they're just one of many. Literally every week I have time set aside to go after new strategic partners. And you don't want to box yourself in. You really don't want to put yourself in a situation where you've just got this one and you've got all your eggs in one basket.
So true.
You want to have many, and having many is important, but that's why your deals and the way you structure your relationships is really important. People always ask me, just, do I have to have a contract in place? Look, email, like, I mean, you don't need a contract in place. Like, I think as well, unless it's a really big deal, some of our strategic partners, it's all in writing, and we agree to specific terms. So we might say, look, we're only going to partner with your agency within this space, and we're not going to partner with any other agency, meaning that if our deal looks like us giving them leads and vice versa, we want to make sure that we're only doing that with them. We don't want to put ourselves in a position where we're kind of delivering some to this person and then some to this person. But
it's like if you're in an exclusive relationship and you're like, yeah, we're exclusive, then you start, playing on the sides. It's the same concept, right? Just to break it down. It's again, it comes down to relationships. It's respect and making sure that you respect the boundaries that you set with whatever partner.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I think a contract, if you mention contract, it's too early. It's like proposing and you're not even sure that they're interested.
Proposal, prenup straight away. Let's go,
Let's lock this down. And the thing is, you might feel like the hard work is getting in the door. The hard work is the nurturing the relationship and how you show up. It's being able to consistently show up. And so if you're not able to deliver leads to them, then you have to look at other ways you can be of value. Maybe you find an article or you write an article that could really benefit their clients or benefit them as a business. Send that to them. And it's not about going, hey, remember us, send us what we need. It's about going, hey, I've got something for you, and not expecting anything in return. That's what a real relationship is. And that's how you build the trust, is by showing up and by doing it in a way that actually has meaning and is impactful. And you're not leading with, hey, these are my capabilities, let's sell this bad boy. You really want to lead with, hey, like, I see you, I get you, I'm here for you, let's make this work together. And it's mutually beneficial. That's the real power of strategic partnerships. You really can have these incredible relationships with other brands and businesses and mentors, whatever it is. And they can really benefit you. And so if you are looking at getting a strategic partnership in place, or you are looking to get started, as I said, the very first point, and I'm going to drop this in the comments below, like a bit of a screen grab of like the primary fundamentals, just so everyone can refer to them, is that you have to know what it is that you need and don't already have access to, whether it's leads, you need to enter a new market, you want to get in touch with a manufacturer, whatever that is. And then you need to identify who has what you need. And so we can I'll provide in the comments below as well, the steps on how to go after the who.
Thank you.
And then as well, you want to make sure that you've got something to offer, whether that is you returning the favor with delivering leads, or whether it's you just showing up by delivering valuable content or things that are of value to the other person. Or maybe you're able to incentivize. And so when you're incentivizing, financially incentivizing, it's really, really important to look at your profit margins. I said earlier that we incentivize with $1,000 referral fee. That's not going to fit for every single strategic partner. Think about how valuable, if you get what you need from this person, what's that bringing to your company, and what are you willing to pay for that? You don't want it to eat into your profits. So for example, if we were to work with a strategic partner and they sent us a lead, and say that lead was worth $10,000, I'm not going to say to my strategic partner, well, I'll give you $10,000 for that. Well, I'm going to say, hey, let's work out what a referral fee would be. That's going to be an incentive enough for them to actually want to refer them on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to be monetary. It can it can just be a mutually beneficial relationship. We've got strategic partners that are awesome leaders in their field. It's not that it's not financial in any way. They don't gain. We just have this mutually beneficial relationship. There's no contract in place.
Yeah.
We understand the fundamentals of it, and we respect each other's time.
Yeah.
That's really important. But being able to show up consistently long after you make that first engagement or you have that first introduction, that's really where the time investment is on your part to make it work. But look, this is just one piece of the puzzle, but I think it's one very powerful piece. I think a lot of people look at digital marketing and think, well, this is the direction we're heading, it's a be all and end all, but let's strip it back to basics. Yes, digital is incredibly powerful, but there are a lot of things that you can do that are a little more traditional, like a handwritten note, that people just aren't doing. The reason why it's impactful is no one's doing it.
Yeah.
Everyone's running a funnel.
That's it.
So you just have to find your little window. That's the main thing.
I love it. Jess, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And I've learned a lot myself. And I think this is a perfect time for people to reach out to their networks and relationships as well, just to check in if they're okay. Like, I think, just having some humility and being a human in this time is really important. And I think what you've been able to share has been incredible. And even through the just taking the photo with the cups, like you can, things like that, just think how you can creatively use your environment as well to personalize. So thank you so much. I really appreciate
My
that.
pleasure.
And I'll put this up in about 5:00 New Zealand time. So then, an hour and a half, probably an hour. That's so many time zones. This is terrible. But thank you, Jess. And we'll look forward to getting your additional info in the comments. And if anyone's got any questions, I'm sure they'll ask away. But good luck. And I will catch you very, very soon.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Dal.